As much as you may think you want him to want you back, no, you don't. No, you don't. If he wants you back, that's an insult. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you a story that's going to prove my. The reason why I'm thinking of this, one of my mutuals was talking about how when they spin the block and they come back, it is an insult. It does not mean they want you back. It means they have no other option and you are like at the bottom of their list. So I'm going to tell you a story about how the breadcrumb guy did come back and wanted to hang out again after I was married. While it felt good for a moment to be like, finally he realized what he lost. I then realized, you know what? Fork you. You literally have burned all your other bridges, and men just have this little radar. You know, they talk about women's intuition, and I believe men have intuition too. It's just been like stomped out of them by patriarchy and them, you know, dehumanizing themselves. We tend to have a very strong intuition. And you know what? It seems like men, especially the more insecure they are, the more they are, you know, just playing the game, and they see us as a conquest. They see us as free labor. They see us as, they just want access to us, but they don't actually want to give anything in return. They have a little radar, beep, beep, beep. And it's called indifference radar. And the minute you don't care about them, they're like, oh, I got one in France. What? Maybe I should reach out to her. Even though she moved, you know what I mean? Like they know she doesn't care anymore. Now I'll send that text. So it's either that, they're like, oh, I got to keep as many options open as possible. Or they literally have no other options. They're like, circle back. Either way, you don't want. That is why you need to block these fools. Just block them. Because not blocking them makes you feel bad about yourself. Not blocking them gives you the opportunity for them to reach out. And guess what? You may not be feeling so empowered and amazing that day. You may be having a bad day. You may be having one of those days where, you know what? It sucks to be single. Believe me, I was single for most of my life. I didn't get married until I was 42, y'all, for anyone new here, okay? So I am used to being single and actually loving that, but sometimes it's hard. And sometimes, you know, I was reaching out to men I should not be reaching out to because in that moment of despair, I was like, well, why not? What's the worst that could happen? Almost die. That's literally what happened when I thought, what's the worst that could happen? He literally almost drove me over a cliff. Okay, so in those moments where you're not feeling so great, guess what? He may also be like, I feel weakness, and be like, hey! And guess what? You haven't blocked him. So you are so happy to hear from him. Then you're just going to be like, oh, I'm going to make him want me so that I can reject him and get some sort of revenge or some sort of sense of justice. You know, he did all that to me. And now I'm going to do it back to him. Guess what? It's not going to work out that way, first of all. And even if it does, it's not going to feel good because you still needed something from him. You were still using him for validation yourself. And we know that men do this to us all the time, but we do this too. We use men for validation sometimes, right? We use relationships to heal some old stuff, and we keep doing it again with the wrong dudes. And we're sitting there hoping they'll call, or text. And when they finally do, we're like, hey. Oh, no, I don't care. I'm cool. And then you start the cycle again, and then you start thinking about, oh, like, cats, like, don't you miss that? Even if they suck. Literally, breadcrumb guy was like one of the worst in bed. I don't know what. She usually my clit rules with an iron paw, okay? And somehow, even, it didn't even involve her. It was more all of my like trauma responses and all my like daddy issues and all my like, why doesn't he like me? This feels familiar. Oh, this goes back to childhood. Okay, so I promise you, when he does call, if he does call or text, it will be at the wrong moment where you're going to be like, oh, I was so over him and I'm still over him. Remember when Samantha did that with Richard, whatever? Well, not even Richard. Well, him too. In Jehovah's in the City. Every time you think you have the upper hand when they finally come back, believe you me, you will not be strong in that moment. And even if you are, you'll be weak later on. And then you'll get in the merry-go-round, and then you're going to get back off, and then you're going to hate yourself. And like I say all the time, you may like never care about that man. It's limerence half the time. It's not even about him. But forgiving yourself for lowering your standards again and picking up the stupid phone. Forgiving yourself is what takes time. It is so hard to forgive yourself, even when you don't care about that dude. You don't even think about him. You're not even mad anymore at him. You're mad at yourself. That takes so much time. So block these guys. Once you're decided they're not good for me, block them. Because they will come back around eventually just when you don't need them to or don't want them to, and you may even be in a new. Think about Schmegs in the City, Carrie. I mean, whatever. She wanted that so bad. She would not cut Big off, and he ruined her life again and again and again and again. Now, she kind of deserved it at that point because, come on. And, she, whatever, I don't know. I have so many hours of Carrie footage to make. But let me tell you what made me think about one of my mutuals. She's doing some workshops. She's awesome. I love listening to her talk. I learn a lot from her. This is her page. Go follow her. I'll try to remember to tag the video specifically I'm talking about. If I forget to put a link, tell me. And in this video, she just said 2 lines that she said, men are the Jehovah's Witnesses of D. They come knocking. They're never going to leave you alone. But they're actually, it's not because they want you. They literally just need somebody. They need to recruit somebody into their world of chaos and selfishness. Don't answer that door. In fact, move so they don't even know how to reach you anymore. She also said that dealing with men is like dealing with like a crackhead a lot of times. Because again, the same way that we can use relationships for so many men are addicts. I talk about this a lot. They're addicts, or they throw themselves into sports, adrenaline, being like preying on women and just notches on their bed post or whatever. We oftentimes, look for ease and comfort and escapism and fantasy through relationships, right? But a lot of times ours are just more complicated. And then we also give because we've been taught to be codependent. Give, here, right? Sometimes we literally love these people and we give to them, but they don't like us, they don't care. And so a lot of men literally the reason why I said all that is that we can absolutely, our codependency is an addiction. And the more we start realizing that like our addiction to relationships and like and all that stuff, it is serious. And we almost die. I literally almost died from it. Okay, I take this very serious. But the way men use women is very different because under patriarchy, they're like, mine. You're not even human. You're not even real. I get what I want and give nothing in return. Okay, and so they're always going to be like fiending for another hit. They're going to hit you. They may actually hit you, but they're going to tap. You know what I mean? They're going to smash or whatever violent metaphor they use to conquer us, prey on us, or on the prowl. I mean, even the way they talk about us, it's like, you must literally think you're a predator because you're literally hunting us. Okay. But that video reminded me of how much like so many of us will keep that door open, hoping they'll come back. And a lot of this is because of rom-coms, okay? These rom-coms, mostly written by men or women who center men, is like, and also because, as YV Edit said, one of my mutuals, that if rom-coms were based on like real, lasting, healthy love, they'd be boring as hell. They need drama, they need tension. And as a writer and, a screenwriter at one point, I submitted to competitions and stuff and like, whatever, I got in the placed in the like finals and whatever. I never won. I never gotten a movie made, so I'm not really taking the screenwriting. But one of the things you learn in screenwriting right away is you need like Dark Night of the Soul. You need inciting incident. You need all these things to create trauma. And what creates trauma in rom-coms? Somebody not loving, and chasing and blah, blah, blah. Like you need all that drama. The thing is all these rom-coms taught us that, we need that moment like this. We need this moment, which honestly, this wasn't even that romantic. I need to watch this video again. He was like a hobo. Man, why did you get on a plane and follow her? Leave her alone. I mean, whatever. I like him, the actor, a lot, and I loved this movie as a kid. But I gotta go back and watch them because I swear to God, all these movies are like Beauty and the Beast over and over and over, Little Mermaid over and over and over. Date down, date a hobo, date like an apathetic guy who's just gonna like literally get on a plane with you and follow you wherever you go, so you make a lot of money and he can live a great life. Anyway, especially if you have a dishonest dad. Of course, we were taught that this is supposed to have tension and we're supposed to have that moment where they come in the pouring rain and they're like, please, I made a mistake, or I finally realized after putting you through hell that I really do love you. No, that's not good. You do not want that. You want it done. Okay? But we leave that door cracked open partly because we just want some resolution. We want closure. We want an apology. We literally want this person to admit that what they did was wrong. We want anything at all. And they're not going to give us anything other than more trauma or more ghosting or more breadcrumbing or whatever. So when you realize this person is not healthy for you, cut them off. Block them. Now, if you are, really codependent, you may block them and then unblock them the next day and then blah, blah. You know what I mean? If you are seriously kind of caught in the addictive cycle, just blocking them is not going to make you stop thinking about or like keep you from unblocking them. You may need more help, but you do not want these men to circle back. If they do, it's an instant, and you're going to have to forgive yourself for that. So I lucked out. I really lucked out that my breadcrumb guy did not circle back until after I was married. And like after I was over him, I'm thankful him for one. Again, I don't think this dude's a terrible person, but he never liked me. He, like many men, was just getting whatever he wanted. It was very convenient for him. He did tell me right out of the gate he didn't want a relationship. And I was like, cool, I just want to sleep around too. But guess what? Me and my little trauma brain and my nervous system and where I was at in my life, I actually could not handle just hooking up. I thought I could. For some reason, this man had power over me. I could have so many one-night stands and schmegs friends, and it was super fun. But this man, because of the breadcrumbing and because we had fun together and he just didn't like me as much as I liked him, it drove me crazy. So I had a lot of partners during that time because I was like, well, if you don't want to date, then I'm just going to like keep sleeping with people. He's like, okay. And I wanted so bad, even though I wanted to sleep with other people, I wanted him to not want me to sleep with other people. And at the end, I was like wanting him to tell me he loved me. He was like, I'm not going to do that. And that's when I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? This man sleeps in a Pokemon, like has like he sleeps in a trundle bed. I only stayed at his house twice. Twice in the trundle bed with a crack, because we rose it up and he had like Pokemon pillows, and it was just like not even someone I would ever date. He's not someone I even saw myself in a future with. It was literally just me being like addicted to the cycle of breadcrumb and really trying to prove to this one man who clearly didn't like that, like, I'm lovable. Like, we're seriously we can use men or relationships, if you don't date men, whoever, to constantly try to prove something from the past, try to heal it with the wrong people. You can heal that stuff, but not the way we keep trying a lot of times. You are disrespecting yourself when you find yourself tricking your partner into getting into photos with you. Okay, let me just give you an example of what it's like to date someone who doesn't like you. I knew it's been like 6 months or more. No, longer than that. And at this point, I just wanted a photo with this man. And I never posted him on social media. Sorry, I thought someone knocked. I never posted him because, it's friends and they're private here, whatever. And also was like trying to start to respect my private life more. I never posted photos of him and whatever. Like, I just wanted it so I could see a photo of us and convince myself we had something we clearly didn't have. So I remember we were at this little thing and we were with my friends sitting in a circle, and I texted my one friend, and women are so good at this. I was like, hey, will you suggest that we take a photo together? And she looked at her phone very casually, and she was just like, didn't look at me. I mean, we are so good at this. We are so good at this. This is what surviving patriarchy does. It teaches you like spy skills, 007 type stuff, where I can literally like have a full on like puppeteering thing happening with the man right next to me, and he has no idea. Like, they're not dumb. They're manipulating the crap out of us, but like, we're manipulating them in different ways. And so she looks at her phone and she's like, puts it in her pocket, waits about 10 minutes, and then we were talking. She's like, oh, hey, we should all take photos. And she took a photo of these two people, and then she's like, okay, you two. And I was like, oh my God. I'm so smart, but I'm so desperate and so stupid at the same time. So yeah, this photo, I got the photo, and then it made me hate myself. And here's the thing. I even tried to trick myself, because this is what like chronic codependency looks like. This will work for like normal people. It didn't work for me. But sometimes name men based on their behavior. Like, this is Laurent. And then I said, never meet. Because this man was never going to meet me, and I knew. And yet he texted me for 3 years. He lied about being in Barcelona when I was traveling there. And then we would just chat. Men are so bored, y'all. Because they're texting you doesn't mean they're ever going to meet with you. They don't want to be with you. They didn't want to sleep with you. They literally just want to waste your time because they're bored. So I renamed this man Honey He Doesn't Like You. I renamed this man like 5 different times, trying to teach myself, to remind myself. Again, this works for like normal people, but I was so not even traumatized. I was so like attachment traumatized to this dude who, again, I didn't even like. It wasn't even about him. And that's what I have to admit to myself, is I didn't even like this dude that much. I was literally like addicted to the game, addicted to the validation, addicted to something that like this man drove me crazy. I have never felt so bad about myself in my life, other than when I dated an abuser, as to like staring at my phone constantly, waiting for a text. And then when I finally got it, it felt so good. And then it was short-lived. My dumb, first of all, this should have told me everything, but what? Okay, maybe he likes you. See, this is my moments of like, lying to myself. Don't text this dude. You're not dating. Fuck boy, don't do it. All caps. Cut this. I tried everything, y'all. I tried everything to trick myself, and it didn't work. You know what really sucks is that even after you break up with somebody, we had a kiss on this stair. This was my building right here. I loved this neighborhood. It's one of the most beautiful in Lyon. This is the staircase they had just painted. We shared a kiss on this stairs right here at the very top, but not totally the top. We shared a kiss there one night towards the end. I had to walk up these damn stairs every day. And all I thought of was, the kiss. You know what I didn't think of? You know, I never, ever could remember. I could think of all these moments in my head that were like beautiful, but that really weren't that great. I mean, come on. Talk about low standards. I think of all these postcard moments. But you know what we need is postcard moments of staring at my phone. Because there'd be a million of those staring at my phone. Why isn't he texting? So this was a particular memory. They sing this. Happy birthday to everybody. This was the last date we ever went on. On that date, first of all, we paid 50-50 every time. He never bought me dinner, ever. We're just, hanging out. We weren't really dating, and I was like screwing other dudes, so it didn't matter, right? But while we were there, we ran into his uncle. His uncle was having dinner with the family, and this man introduced me as his friend. We've been hooking up since like November, and this was like May. And I was just like, not even like I get it, but like, I was just like, the way didn't even want to introduce me to his uncle, because here their families are very close, right? So if he introduced me as a girlfriend, now with the group chat, the family chat, Sunday lunch, every 4-hour lunch every Sunday, which is what you're going to do. If you marry a French man, you're probably going to be eating Sunday lunch with him for 4 or 5 hours every Sunday until you die. Not every Sunday, but which I don't mind, because I actually really love my family over here. They're great. But anyway, beware. But if he introduced me as anything other than just a friend, then he's going to have to answer some questions, because they're all going to be chatting. So I was just a friend. And then I was like, okay, not only am I just a friend, but he was literally embarrassed by me. And that's when I was like, I can't believe how much time I am future planning with this man when we have nothing in common. He's not, like, he's hot, but he's not that hot. He's not great in bed. Like, he's a pretty selfish lover. What else? He lives with his brother. I don't know. There was just so many, things that I was like, but I thought because he wasn't my type, because I didn't see a future with him in the beginning, that I couldn't fall for him. Duh, Melanie. God, how many times do I have to learn this lesson? That's the night that I was like, look, I'm starting to fall for you. I don't, love you, but if we keep hanging out, I probably will, fall in love with you. He's like, I'm never going to say I love you. And I was like, okay. Well, and then we broke up 2 days later. I broke up with him. And luckily, that man did not text me again for 2 years. And then on my birthday, this man didn't even ever buy me a birthday present. He literally did not. He didn't even remember my birthday, because we first started hanging out in November. My birthday is November 23rd. And so my neighbor bought me flowers for my birthday. I had just moved. My neighbor bought me flowers, and the guy that I've been screwing was on the way out the door. Oh yeah, and happy birthday. I think it's today. But around my birthday, 2 years later. So how did this man remember that? He was like, hey, I remember it's your birthday. And I could show you the receipts. I don't even feel like digging, because I've got 200,000 photos on my phone. I finally got that text of validation. Oh, he wants me back finally. I didn't want him back. I don't care about this man. But you know what? I did get that final circle back text, and it didn't even feel good. It felt good for 2 seconds, and then I was like, fuck this dude. 2 years? Now you're asking how I'm doing? What? When he sent that, I waited a couple days just as a big, right? And then I was like, I was sorry, some things have changed. Because I took this photo, I had this photo taken because, I'm wanted to do something really physical in my dress. I was like, get in the wagon, I want to pull you out. So I sent him this photo, and he was made some jokes and was like, so you want to hang out? And I was like, dude, I'm married. He was like, oh, I thought that was a joke. What? So then I sent him this photo. I was like, nope, not a joke. It was a pretty big deal. But yeah, who would have thought that I'm the marrying type? And he was like, oh, wow, congrats. And then we haven't talked again. By the way, I wrote about this for Shondaland several years ago. If you want to read the story, a much bigger story, but this is just part of it. Take it from me, somebody who did get that coveted, kind of let's hang out after just being treated so bleh. It doesn't feel great. Luckily, I didn't text during all those moments. I absolutely would have texted him back. Just block him or you'll regret it.
Do the comment song. Do the comment song. Look at that stalker, the comment song. This is what Mose does to me every day. Anytime I'm trying to leave, he does this. Where you going? The comment song. If you're new here, the comment song. This is where I show random stuff while you type your comment. The comment song. While you type your comment. The comment song. I'm just singing some BS while you look at Mose doing nothing, because that's what he's good at. That's what he's good at. Look at him, just stares at me all the time. Do you understand why it's so hard to leave the comment song? You understand? That didn't sound good. So hard to leave the comment. This is the look. This is the look he gives us every time we want to leave. The comment song is ending soon. The comment song. Join my Patreon. The comment song. Did you hear the comment song? Let me know if you did. This was the worst song ever, but I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!